Brilliance Audio presents Vidal in Venice by Gore Vidal, performed by Jeff Cummings. In all of history, there have been only 3 million Venetians. This is an amazing statistic, considering that this small city on a group of islands in a lagoon at the northern end of the Adriatic Sea was once the head of a great maritime empire, an empire that produced Bellini and Vivaldi as well as Marco Polo and Casanova. This unlikely watery city, where did it start? Venice emerged, like life itself, from the mud of a large lagoon to which mainlanders had come for centuries to fish, to pan for salt. But no one thought of building a city until the Roman Empire began to fall apart in the 5th century A.D., 1,000 barbarian tribes were on the move. From the German forests, from the plains of Asia they came, Goths, Huns, and Lombards. The Roman cities of the mainland were sacked and burned, their populations massacred. The survivors, anti-Gothic to the core, took to their boats and moved their families and their sheep to the islands, seeking the safety of a vast moat to protect them from the enemy, who were not good seamen. Here they were secure. They were also surprisingly successful. Not only were they able to ignore the advances of Attila the Hun, who, as an equestrian, was probably less than charmed by Venetian mud, but they also cornered the salt trade. Man cannot live without salt. Today the world is amazed by the wealth that oil has brought to Arab deserts, but 1,000 years ago, the world was equally bemused by the fact that the original Venetians had been able to make such a fortune out of their muddy lagoon with salt. Some 1,563 years ago, on 15 March, we are told, a city was founded on one of these islands. At least that is the legend. Anyone wishing to understand the history of early Venice must start with Torcello, and we know for certain that Torcello, a miniature city with a miniature cathedral, was well established by the 7th century and quickly became an important trading center. Initially, it would seem to have had a population of about 100, many of whom were from the mainland city of Altinum or Heraclea. Aerial photographs have recently uncovered the ruins of this ancient city lying beneath cultivated rice fields on the mainland. The presence of a cathedral would suggest that this refugee colony, which eventually numbered 20,000, now reduced to 100 again, prospered. The influence of Byzantium still lives in the mosaics of the cathedral, recently restored through Britain's Venice in Peril Fund in collaboration with American and Italian groups, where Christ Pantocrator surveys heaven and hell, where the Mother of God descends from the shadowless gold of eternity. Oh, how prettily one is obliged to soliloquize on television. In the year 810, Pepin, son of Charlemagne, conquered the mainland. But when he tried to invade the islands of the lagoon, the islanders united and stopped him, though he did succeed in conquering the islet of Malamocco. James Morris, in Venice, tells the story not only wonderfully well, but creates a brand new legend. Only one old woman, so the story goes, had stayed behind in Malamocco, determined to do or die, and this patriotic crone was summoned to the royal presence. "Which is the way to Rivo Alto?" demanded Pepin, and the old lady knew her moment had come. Quavering was her finger as she pointed across the treacherous flats, where the tide swirled deceitfully, and the mud oozed, and the seaweed swayed in turbulence. Tremulous was her voice as she answered the prince. "Sempre diritto," she said, and Pepin's fleet, instantly running aground, was ambushed by the Venetians and utterly humiliated.